what, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 10 p.m. some places, 11 some places, 5 p.m. Whatever the time is. I hope you're having a good day and I hope you're ready for a good weekend. I am Marcus Beard. This is Friday with Beard. This is, a little place where I like to talk to people. Let's call it therapy. Anyway, hope you're well. As usual, if you're in the chat room, give me a shout out and let me know how you're doing. What am I going to talk about this week? Well, obviously the big issue, and I did touch on this last week, was the Ubisoft, Activision Blizzard, ongoing harassment stories that have been surfacing, and the Activision Blizzard one in particular really got nasty this week. I mean, it was already pretty abhorrent anyway. And I read out some of the things that they said in the lawsuit on the state of California suing Activision Blizzard, and then more things came to light on Monday or Tuesday from Kotaku. And I gotta say, I have issues with Kotaku in general, but when they're on the money, they're on the money. And fair fucks, they are doing some good quality writing right now, not shit stirring. When they don't shit stir, it's good. And so, yes, they had stuff where they detailed the some of the things that happened at BlizzCon, including the Cosby room that they had, where a group of developers, including the main guy, I'm not going to repeat his name. One, I can't fucking repeat it properly anyway, and two, I can't be asked. He's a fucking douchebag. Look him up. Yeah, they had a picture of Bill Cosby, and they had this text chat group going where it's like they're going to get girls to come there, and it was just fucking, I mean, this whole frat boy thing. It's this frat boy mentality, and this is the problem. This is a problem that me as an outsider, me as somebody who was not born and raised in this country and didn't go through the college system in this country, I have a fucking problem with frat houses. Much like in the UK, I have a problem with fucking, the silver spoon upper class brigade of nitwits with more money than fucking brain cells who get all the fucking opportunities. Here, the frat boy system, the frat house system, and the sorority system, to me, are fucking asinine. I don't think they should be allowed. I think they encourage bad behavior, negative behavior. I think they encourage favoritism and nepotism. And this whole fucking culture of the dude bro comes from this frat boy fucking setting. And it can even be traced back even further with the pressure on kids in school, boys in particular, to play fucking sports and not focus on the academics. Because let's go to college on a sports scholarship. Yeah, that's fucking useful. You're really going to be a fucking somebody who's going to contribute to humanity there, aren't you? Take that money away from sports. Take the fucking college sports thing away. Pump it into making people fucking smarter. That's something that, just gets on my fucking nerves. But anyway, yes, this whole thing, this Cosby room where they were going to get these girls there, and half a dozen fucking members of the dev team, were in on this, and they need, they are being called out. You should look at the Kotaku story. And so the shit that's gone on this week, I mean, that was pretty fucking abhorrent. And then obviously on Wednesday, we had the great walkout where Activision Blizzard employees all left. I'm going to check in the chat room in a minute. I'm on a fucking rant here, okay? So the Activision Blizzard staff, they all walked out on Wednesday in support of, to basically ram home to the leadership that this shit is abhorrent and won't fly. And you know how awesome Activision Blizzard were? They said, "Oh, don't worry, just you won't be charged time off. Just let us know that you're going to come out. You're going to walk out." And it's like, "Oh yeah, great." So now they have a list of people who are going, who are participating in this, so that they can be punitive against them later. Very sneaky. Kotick and go suck a dick. Following on from that, yesterday, Activision Blizzard, the company that makes so much fucking money, yet couldn't organize a fucking piss up in a brewery when it comes to being decent employers, have hired a union busting firm, because now a lot of people are talking about unionization at Activision Blizzard. And this is something that's been bubbling along for a long time. And it's something I am behind. It shouldn't just be game devs, though. It should be games industry wide. It should cover QA, PR and marketing, HR, sales, whatever. There are a whole bunch of people who contribute to the fucking games industry. And if they work at a publisher or a developer, they should be part of the union so they're not fucking excluded and on the outs. But yeah, what did Activision Blizzard do? They hired a fucking firm who has just come off union busting with Amazon. They basically specialize in propaganda that totally slanders and misrepresents unions and just gets people so anti-union that they end up voting against their own best interests. Now, look, I know not all unions are great, and there are very, there are pros and cons to everything. But on the whole, the concept of a union, a trade union, is to protect the worker against people who are fucking earning 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, 100 times as much, 1,000 times as much, and who only give a shit about the bottom line and don't give a shit about the quality of life of the fucking worker. And this is me being fucking militant. I am a little socialist. So yeah, Activision Blizzard, and then they were like, oh, well, we hear you, and that's why we've brought this company on to look at this and that. And I was like, fuck off. I mean, the entire fucking board needs to go, to be honest with you. They're all fucking culpable. In fact, fucking decapitate the entire, chop off the entire 2 or 3 top layers, not decapitate the people, just the top 2 or 3 layers and appoint new people. It's quite repugnant. It's quite ridiculous. And yeah, I am just fucking annoyed with it. Same shit's going on at Riot. Obviously, we know about that. Ubisoft staff, had a letter from Yves Guillemot saying, oh, yes, we messed up and we're not very good and blah, 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 blah. I was like, you know what? Fuck off. I mean, talk about tone deaf with the responses. Ubisoft needs to fucking clean up its act as well. I mean, that's at least 3 companies. I'm sure there are way more stories out there, but it's just pretty fucking ridiculous that in this day and age, these management people are so fucking stupid that they can't, stupid or willfully ignorant, that they can't see what's going on under their own noses, or they don't give a shit about what's going on under their own noses, because they're keeping these people in their jobs who are keeping them happy. I mean, it's like, oh yes, well, we're designing this latest, greatest World of Warcraft, character, blah, 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 blah. So if you fire me, you're not going to have that. Well, guess what? We're going to fire you. You're going to tell everybody why you were fucking fired, so you're unhireable in this industry again. The people who are getting away with it are just fucking obscene. They need to go. They need to go. Sorry, my phone buzzed. My arm buzzed even. Anyway, so yes, Riot, Ubisoft, Activision Blizzard, get your fucking act together. To all the staff who work at those places, I got nothing but respect for you. And I'm not talking about, obviously, the douche nozzles from the frat boy societies. You can go fuck yourselves if you had dicks big enough to do it. But the rest of you, anybody who suffered this harassment, been passed over for promotions, just given abuse and shit. And I'm not talking about the usual, oh, my boss hates me because he made me stay late and do my job. That shit. Everybody has to, have parts of their job that suck. It's the rules. It makes you a little tougher. We've all been there. We've all had to stay late. We've all worked a little bit of overtime, worked through our lunch break. Not every fucking day, but we get stuff done. We hit the deadlines given to us, and that's it. If we don't do it, we take our bollocking. But the rest, So my thoughts are with all those staff. Some people I know who work there. And anybody who's just been through this shit. It's abhorrent. We need to grow up as an industry. We're having another Me Too moment, and it just this middle-aged white guy is just fucking depressed by the state of it. There seems to have been a generation that's come through that can't handle working with women, and they need to be collectively slapped with large purple dildos. I'm sure the Saints Row 4 team must have some left over, because they give much chachis when you just hit them with it. Anyway, All right, so here I am. I have got look at this. We're quite busy today. Raypad's in the house. Futterish. Oh, Mike Futter. He's so handsome. RPG is in the house. Everybody's just, chattering and just getting on with each other because we're nice and sociable here. D Night Walker's in the house. Bobby Kotick must take proper responsibility and resign. Yeah, from your mouth to his non-functioning ears, apparently. Stephen Rivers is in. Hello. So anyway, thank you all for coming in. So that's how I kicked off the show today. Just 10 minutes of ranting, because let's face it, if somebody's going to get me fucking ranting, Bobby Kotick's going to be associated with it somehow. By the way, Mike Futterish, you should follow him on the Twitter and the Twitch, because he has a show as well. And his show is actually really quite cool. And he talks about business and stuff as well. He's a very smart man. Doesn't swear as much as me. His podcast is so smart, he won't have me on. And I don't blame him. There you go. Got that out of the way. Other than that, I mean, it's traditional summer slump time, isn't it? It's quiet, not a lot going on. The Ascent did hit this week on Xbox Games Pass. It's on PC. It's a cyberpunky twin sticks kind of game. Looks absolutely gorgeous. I did pre-download it. I gave it a little play yesterday, but not enough. So I've been playing other games with other control systems really intensely for the last couple of days. And so I need to sort of do my mental recalibrate onto something else. So I'm going to play it more and let you know what I think next week. I got to say, fucking gorgeous game. I mean, I love the cyberpunk theme anyway, but it's a gorgeous game. So yeah, I look forward to playing more and telling you about that. So if you've got Xbox Games Pass or the PC equivalent, you should definitely download it, because it's covered. I'm not going to say it's free because you're already paying for it, but you know what I mean. David B, good to see you. Thank you for joining. All right. Okay, so Futterish is talking to himself now. He's taken over my entire chat with just comments to himself. This is what it's like. It's when when we have Discord chats, that's all he does. He just talks to himself for hours and hours on end. The rest of us are out. We go for lunch. We go and get our cars detailed, medical procedures, and we come back and he's still talking. I kid. He's smart. So yes, The Ascend. You should check it out. Let me know what you thought or you think. Okay. And now everybody's listing the all the releases that have come out. And look, I've been, like I said, my head's been elsewhere this week. I haven't tried Splitgate. I'll have to put it on the list. Flight Simulator, I played that on the PC last year when it hit Games Pass, and it was just like, flew over my own house. Well, crashed a lot. And it's just beautiful. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I think I talked about earlier when we talked about E3 a couple of weeks ago, that whole Top Gun tie-in for Top Gun Maverick, totally fucking random. But like I said, they better have the logins. Danger zone. That's all I'm saying. Raypad's coming up with a great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I've never been able to get into an Ace Attorney game. I really don't. Tried it years ago on the 3DS or something. Not my cup of liquid. Neo, The World Ends With You. That one sounds familiar. That might be on my list. I might want to try it. Yes, you should definitely try it. If you've got a system that can handle it, if you've got a new Xbox or a PC that can handle it, it's gorgeous. It's basically just flying around and just looking at crazy shit. Because, it serves no other purpose. And if you do have the flight simulator dongles and stuff, that is pretty great. So, all right, and now we're talking about football. So, on this to the football tip, let's go and talk about Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso's back. Last week, I talked about episode 1 briefly. Episode 2 dropped last night. I mean, I was in bed with the missus 10 o'clock because this is what you do. 10 o'clock on a Thursday night during a pandemic, you go to bed at, and just watch TV there. And I'm like, Apple TV, scrolling through, who should pop up in my next to watch? episode 2. I do love living on this coast where I could watch it at a decent time frame. And I just got to say, this show, I mean, I'm going to keep on saying every week how much I love this show, how much I love the character, because at the end of the day, he wants to make other people brilliant and better, and he is eminently likable. He's not even in the episode this much this time around, but you could see where this show is, the show is going, and it's showing the evolution of the other characters, which shows as the show's co-creator and the co-writer, he has Jason Sudeikis doesn't have the mega ego that you see in a lot of shows. It's gone from being Ted, and even though it is titled after Ted Lasso, it's become a real cast ensemble show, and across the board. I mean, the Roy Kent character, Juno Temple's character, Hannah Waddington's character, they've all had their own little timelines, and they're all evolving now. And yeah, yesterday's one was a little bit more mellow, had a couple of giggles, had a couple of guffaws, but it just felt like it just felt comfortable. It just felt comfortable and nice. And I'm sure we're going to have way more funny bits and just lovable bits. But yeah, if you haven't watched it yet, really, I'm disappointed in you. Get Apple TV, binge watch season 1, and get caught up. Okay. Raypad TV with a question. Please discuss how Jack Grealish is not worth 100 million. Well, this is the thing. Jack Grealish is a soccer player, plays for England, substitute for England, and plays for Aston Villa. Now, Manchester City, those of the incredibly deep, oil-funded, human rights violating pockets, have apparently bid £100 million pounds for him and 150 million for Roy Keane. Because buying the title every season and buying the League Cup and failing in the European Cup is something they want to continue to invest in. And so yes, so now they've signed these 2 English players. Now English players have a premium, especially because of Britain voting Brexit, and out of the European Union they went back in January, which means European players are counted as overseas players now. I mean, there are some nuances. If you're at a club for X amount of years, and there's a residency process and so on. But that means that the best English players have a premium price on them now, because it doesn't count in your squad allocation. It doesn't count in your European qualification, because obviously Britain voted for Brexit, but they still want their teams in the Euros and in the European Cup or the Champions League and the UEFA, equivalent, and the Thursday, the UEFA conference and all that shit, because apparently, morons in the UK want the best of both worlds. So yeah, is he worth 100 million pounds in this current market? Most tackled player and foul player in the Premier League. Greater passing. I think he'd actually replace something that's been missing with regards to David Silva. And I think De Bruyne has stepped up, but obviously he's got some injuries. But I think Grealish could become your new David Silva if it comes off. Personally, I don't want to see Grealish there. I don't want to see anybody new at Manchester City. I want UEFA and FIFA to prosecute the owners of Manchester City for repeated violations of financial fair play. I want all their fucking trophies stripped, and I want Pep out on his ass. Relegate them to the fucking conference and make it 6 years before they can even get the Premier League again. Because honestly, look, I've got nothing but respect for the Man City fans, of which Raypad is one. He's a Man City fan, and I'm purposely not looking at the comments right now because I know he's probably going off on me. I don't blame the players. I don't blame Pep. They're signing on. They're playing. They're getting paid or whatever. I have problems with the ownership. They violate human rights on a daily basis. They are basically a bunch of fucking crooks, just like the twats who own PSG, just the same as the twat who owns Chelsea. And look, the Liverpool owners, John Henry and Fenway Sports, they can go fuck off as well, because they funded the team, admittedly, with some big purchases, but it's been one misstep after another recently, and I would like to see them piss off, to be honest with you, because they don't get it. They really don't get it. I love America. I love most Americans, great people. I think you should stay the fuck out of British sports. I don't think you should be allowed because you don't understand it. I think, and this goes double for my hometown team, Swansea City, owned by Americans who are just selling with regards to the players. Twice we've come within an inch of the Premier League in the past 2 years. Twice we've lost out, and twice we've ended up losing our manager. So, yeah, love you, Americans. You stick with your stick ball and your throw ball and your bouncy hoop ball, and the rest of us will play the real sports. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm such a bitch. Let's see. And all right, hang on. It's Harry Kane. Sorry. I think I said Roy Keane instead of Harry Kane because I was thinking about Roy Kent from Ted Lasso. So there you go. I would love to see them pay $100 million for Roy Keane because he'd wreck the entire team in training. Let's see. Oh, well, there you go. You just turned up on a little late. I covered it in the first 10 minutes of the show, so you can always do that. You're on YouTube, so this gets automatically uploaded at the end, so you'll actually get the first 10 minutes. But as you can imagine, I had a lot to fucking say about it. Serious question: are there a lot of any benevolent owners? I would say the Leicester owner, especially the late Leicester owner who died in a helicopter accident. I think he seemed to be pretty spotless. I mean, you look at West Ham, the Bradys, no, the plum in charge of Crystal Palace, obviously the Chelseas, Arsenal, fuck no, Tottenham, no. Yeah, that's an interesting question, Ray. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe outside of Leicester City. Yeah, I can't. I mean, every time I think of a new team, I think, oh, Newcastle. Nope, that owner's a twat. All right, who else is there? City and United. No, fuck them. Yeah, Burnley. They haven't really supported Sean Dyche at all. I mean, literally, I'm going through, and yeah, outside of Leicester, I don't know. Oh my God. All right, so this is one of my former bosses and a very good friend who I haven't seen in a long time. My boss at Novalogic when I was a PR guy. Fantastic boss. As I actually said last week, I did talk about my work experience and how the best bosses I've worked for have actually been all women, because I talked about working with women in the gaming environment, but not working with many in dev, but in PR and marketing. And here is one of her ears must have been burning because yeah, here is my former boss who dropped in because I posted on my Facebook page. So all my friends are like, oh, look at this. So yeah, hi G, how you doing? Yeah, wow, it's nice. It's always nice. I mean, flummoxing. I mean, today I saw Mike Futter, who I do chat with, but to see my friends in that outside of Ray, because Ray is somebody I've known for also 200,000 years. But it's always nice to see friends drop in and see what shit I'm up to, because I'm just talking in my little pit, locked away in the pandemic, because that's what we are. So yeah, all right, let's go back to more questions because we seem to be talking about footy a lot now. I will say delighted, even though Liverpool lost against, I think it was Hertha Berlin on Thursday, our boys were back, Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez. So we have a centre back. So when I can go to do Ray's fantasy football league in a week or so, I can try and draft Liverpool's back four again, because I know lightning won't strike twice. So yes. All right. So what else are we going to talk about? Let's talk. Come on, give me some questions today. I mean, it's one of those things that there you go. All right, here we go. Because I know Ray put this up at the beginning. Any interest in any of this week's movies? I will say that Green Knight is one that's interesting. I'm not sure if it's going to be available to stream because obviously cases here in LA County, 3,000 new cases yesterday of COVID Delta variant. Cases keep going up and up and up and up, and people with vaccinations are becoming carriers of COVID and spreading it on. So I'm not going to the movies this weekend. And this is obviously a case I've said in the past. And I thought it would be getting better by now. I thought we'd have more common sense that people would be vaccinated and the numbers would be going down and going down. But obviously they're trending the other way because we do have a subset of humanity that are entitled, spoiled bastards who are perfectly happy to wander around unvaccinated and complain that they won't be allowed into bars, clubs, etc., etc. And say, oh, why should I bother? It's all political, COVID doesn't exist. Meanwhile, children are getting it, pensioners are getting it, people who have been vaccinated are getting it. And then the unvaccinated are the ones who are making up 99.9% of the people catching it, going to hospital and dying. So basically, if you refuse to be vaccinated and you don't have a medically bona fide reason not to be vaccinated, you're basically causing negligent homicide. You're basically putting out there that people can die and you're perfectly happy with it. And I have a problem with that. But yes, so I can't trust any of these bastards to go into a theater and keep their masks on or let alone be vaccinated. Because again, the theaters, while I love the cinematic experience, I love the big screen, I love the popcorn and the hot dogs and the sodas and just, the surround sound. The cinemas for years have been nickel and diming, pushing costs up of the concessions where they make most of their money, admittedly, and but at the same time cutting down on their staff numbers. When I was a kid, you'd have at least one usher per screen when you went into a movie theater. So anybody misbehaved, the torch was out. Hey, you out, blah blah blah. You don't get that anymore. You can have a multiplex with 12 screens and only 5 members of staff working. That's how bad it is. Which in this current environment, when there's no security and nobody to enforce the whole mask on, except when you're eating, you must be vaccinated, blah, blah, blah. It's fucking dangerous. So, yeah, I know of those movies. I know the Jungle Cruise is going to be streaming on Disney today or tomorrow. I like Dwayne Johnson. I like Emily Blunt. It just seems like a poor man's Pirate of the Caribbean mummy mashup. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Oh, Serious Sammy has a question. What do I think of Steam Deck? Well, I think Steam Deck could be really cool, but we'll see how it goes. I did take advantage of putting my $5 down. So, Gabe is now earning all that interest on everybody's $5 on the off chance of getting a pre-order at the end of the year. And yeah, I think it's great. I mean, it's very competitively priced. It puts games out there that I would love to play, that makes games portable that I would love to play outside of a laptop or on my gaming rig. I don't use my Switch. I use my iPad more than my Switch. So yeah, if it can handle the games I want to play, I'm perfectly happy to, and excited to see it. We'll see what happens come the end of the year, a couple of months, if they actually have it ready to go. I think most of them probably won't hit until middle of next year, but that's me. Okay. Ooh, here we go. Here's another one. RP Genius. I have seen the Black Widow lawsuit. Obviously, I mean, this has been a big thing this week. And, Scarlett Johansson suing because she got paid, but she was supposed to be paid, percentage because they forego the upfront money in return for some box office points. And it's very complicated. And, of course, Disney said, oh, we're going to release on Disney Plus too, which is great. I saw it on Disney Plus, but they made 60 million, I think it was. And that went straight into Disney's pockets. No middleman, no cinemas, etc., etc. Now, Scarlett Johansson is suing them for breach of contract because she was stood to make more because of the box office. And because they diluted it, she didn't make as much. And Disney came out with a counterpoint to this suit. I don't know if you saw this yesterday or this morning, and basically said, oh, Scarlett Johansson isn't taking into account the state of the world with COVID and how everybody's being impacted. And we've already paid her 20 million. Well, apparently she should have been got it. She should have got 30 million, and she's been trying to renegotiate this contract ever since COVID hit and the movie got delayed. So look, Scarlett Johansson has made some very dodgy career choices down the years. Ghost in the Machine, a couple of other ones. But I'm Team ScarJo on this one. Go sue the fuckers. Apparently, Kevin Feige, and again, I'm just reporting some scuttlebutt I saw from various sources on Twitter. Kevin Feige has blown his stack at the Disney legal department because he said you just can't do this. You're going to basically hammer and destroy everything we've built up. Because let's face it, Disney movies, meow. Marvel movies, meow. I mean, and Star Wars somewhere in between. But you take away Marvel right now, and Disney are fucking limping. The money is generated from Marvel movies, TV shows. So the only reason I've got Disney Plus is the Marvel stuff. The movies, the TV shows, merchandise, the stuff they just launched at Disney World, Avengers Campus. So yeah, they need to do the decent thing. And yes, let's face it, we're talking about a rich woman being made richer. But they had a deal in place, and they reneged on that deal because they were supposed to have the thing out only in the box office, only in the theater. So yeah, that's my takes. Go ScarJo. Go Kevin Feige. I hope he kicks some fucking ass. Disney posted what? 200 billion or something. They posted a nice profit last couple of months. Not 200 billion, it's probably too much. But they posted a nice profit. They can, of course, Scarlett Johansson should say, I'm going to take that money and give it to charity, and then she'll be an even bigger angel. Okay, hang on. Playdate. What's Playdate? I don't have kids. We don't go on Playdates. I don't send Spike on Playdate. Now I need to look for Playdate. I'm guessing it's a game you're working on. Oh, Playdate, the cranky thing. That looks fucking weird. I forgot what the name was. Yes, Playdate. It looks like a Game Boy Advance, and I've seen a lot of people actually talking about it. There's a couple of friends talking about it who pre-ordered it, and for some reason the name just totally slipped my mind. And I gotta say, it looks cool. Mike Futter says it's a boutique handheld. Boutique handheld sounds like a fancy rub and tug. Like, those fancy massage parlors where you go to get that done. I've got a boutique handheld for you. Hey, that'll be $500 here, and we're going to arrest you now. Yeah, I think it looks, I think it looks cool. When it comes out, I mean, it's out for pre-order now. They sold 20,000 units in 20 minutes. I don't think I'll be that guy. I think maybe, I'll get Generation 2 or whatever. But I've got big hands. It looks tiny. I mean, I'm looking at the screen. It looks like a fucking Game & Watch. I mean, when you get old, your thumbs seem to get bigger and joypad buttons, etc., seem to get smaller. And Georgina, you're like 5 foot tall. You have the smallest hands in Christendom. You are okay to play with it. But, I mean, the rest of it, ugh. So, yes, I think it looks great. I think, it's going to be a perfect little retro thing. I'll give it a try at some point. Wait till all the reviews are out and see what the games are as well. That's all I can say. Looks pretty, though, and the crank is funny. Let's see. Yep. Udine says only the fanciest massage parlors offer boutique handhelds, and that's it. That's you can't really argue with that, can you? You can't argue with that at all. So yes, thanks for the question, G. I miss you. I hope you're doing okay. I hope the kids are okay. Where'd I put my coffee? There's my coffee. Today, powered by Starbucks. Half calf latte, iced with almond milk. Right. Next question. Who's got what? Colin Jost, what will Colin Jost do for money? Well, I think he's, he was white boy rich anyway, and then he married ScarJo, and they're about to have a baby. So that's going to be the whitest kid ever. And coming from one of the whitest men ever, I just know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. That is cutting. $170-ish, pounds, whatever, for a non-backlit screen. I wonder if they'll sell a magnifying glass torch attached one. Do you remember the original Game Boy? The original Game Boy didn't really have a mega backlit screen either, did it? And yeah, I mean, that does actually remind me kind of a Game Boy, but apparently it's boutique. So if something's boutique, there you go. Okay. Jedsu, why do you need look? This is the best time to come see this show, or whatever it is. I don't know if it's a show, if it's a community experience, something meta, proving that there are alternate dimensions. But anyway, come here when you're drunk. It's the best fucking time. I wish I was drunk. If I didn't have work to do today, I'd be drunk. Seriously, nothing wrong with being drunk. Okay, back to a little bit of seriousness, and I did talk a little bit about this last week, and again I did talk about it at the top of the show. No, I have never seen the abuses of power that have gone on, and I'll tell you why. I mean, I have been the dev teams I worked with through the 90s and the 2000s. I mean, there weren't that many women in the dev teams when I was working in PR. And so if this was done, I mean, when I worked at Vivendi, we didn't have a dev team in-house. We had several dotted around the world. Ditto when I was at Ubisoft, no dev team in-house. Novalogic, we had a dev team in-house, and we didn't have that many women on the dev team. Some in the art department, I think one of the engineers. I didn't see anything, and they've never communicated anything to me with regards to anything happening. So I say I've been lucky to work at places where this hasn't happened, but it doesn't mean that it hasn't gone on way out of sight. I know it hasn't gone on at the Vivendi offices or the Novalogic offices that I saw, apart from the occasional dickbag mega boss at various companies, Ubisoft, Vivendi, etc. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. And again, this is 10, 15 years ago, and I wouldn't have known how to handle it back then. I mean, with age comes a little bit of knowledge and a lot of experience. And I would like to think now that if I saw it, I would stand up and get it. I would like to think I would have done it then, but I don't know. I really don't know. It's something that I was watching the Harvey Weinstein documentary last night on Hulu, and one of the members of the Weinstein company of Miramax, who was aware of what was going on, he was being interviewed now, and this was last year, and he said something along the lines of, I knew that this has happened to somebody, but I didn't quit. What was I thinking? Now I'd quit. Why didn't I do it then? And it's something that haunts me. And that's interesting because, again, different times, different places, we don't know where we are. And it really is something that in hindsight, hindsight is great, but you can't really say for sure what you do. I would like to think I would do the right thing. I would like to think that I would make a complaint to HR, and if nothing happened, do something else. Worst case scenario, I'd fucking say something inappropriate to the person who did it. But yeah, I mean, it's a really tricky question. It's a really tricky question the offshoot of the question. So thank you for it, Gremlin. And like I said, I mean, the fact that this is happening, just boggles the fucking mind, dude. Dudes, dudettes, ladies, gentlemen. Okay. I would, like I said, and again, this is what I've said before. The majority of women I've worked with have been in PR, marketing, and sales. there was just, I mean, I don't know whether women weren't being hired. Like I said, there were some women in the art department, and people coming through. I don't know if there was a purpose. Somebody was saying, "Oh, we're not going to hire women because it'll destabilize the team or whatever," or the usual garbage. So I can't comment to that because I wasn't privy to that aspect of the hiring process because I was in PR or product management at the time, and that was it. I was. So yeah, I really can't say. I mean, these are all valid, really interesting questions and thoughts from you, and I appreciate it. So yeah, please keep them coming. Keep them coming. And like I said, I know we're having a little bit of serious time, but serious time is welcome. So tell me, what are you guys doing this weekend? What are you playing? And I say guys, girls, folks, people, lovely cabbages. I don't know. What do you want me to call you? What's going on with everything? Let's see. Oh, hang on. Jadis Thor. Let's see. Stamfield's mill-centric, even yeah. Yeah. Not disagreeing with you. Impossible to disagree with that. Yeah. I mean, look, we have a cultural problem in general, but I think that's kind of sums it up. All right. Boom. Woo. Okay. So, what else have I been playing this week? So I'm going to touch back on something I played a while ago, stopped, and went back to it again because I will say I had Diablo 3 installed on this hard drive, and I had the Battle.net account on there, and I had the World of Warcraft, and this week I uninstalled them. Yes, I know the irony. Oh, you've paid for this, blah, 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 blah. Actually, I've never paid for a copy of World of Warcraft. I've paid for it probably thousands of times over in subscriptions over the years. But one of the benefits at Vivendi was that we'd get collector's editions sent to us. So I actually still have the collector's editions from World of Warcraft, and I think the Burning Crusade. I think literally, yeah, maybe the first 3 or 4 collector's editions, the big monsters. And ditto, I think, for Diablo. But I've uninstalled them, and I don't want to be putting any money in that particular pocket now. So I've gone back to playing Path of Exile, and it's a slow burn and a grind, but it's still quite fun. So if you haven't played it, it's free. And if you have played it and want to be my friend on it, I'm logged in through Epic. But it would be nice to have other people to play with and talk about with. So, oh, yes. There you go. There is something else that came up yesterday. You know, I am a Doctor Who fan. Some might say a bit of a Doctor Who super fan. I've been watching the show for 45 years. Woo! On and off. I mean, obviously, it was off air for 10, 15 of those from the mid-'80s, almost 20 years of those. But, I co-host a show, The Lonely TARDIS, which is another podcast, which is a bunch of fun. And this week, it's been announced that the new season's starting shortly, 6 episodes. There'll be 3 specials next year. And at the end of the 3 episodes, the 3 specials, Jodie Whittaker, who plays the 13th Doctor, is leaving. Now, we knew she was, planning on leaving for a while. But the key and indeed wonderful news is that the showrunner, Chris Talentless Fucknut Chibnall, is leaving. And this is cause for celebration. And look, I'm not angry at the man for casting a female Doctor. 2, in fact. I happen to think that Jodie Whittaker is a superb actress who has been lumbered, especially from the middle of the first series on, with some of the shittiest stories and shittiest arcs in the history of Doctor Who. And look, anybody who lived through the early Sylvester McCoy stuff, that's fucking low praise indeed. I mean, to produce some shit that's this goes beyond some of the some of the stuff from the mid-'80s, just before it was cancelled the first time. I mean, it's I'm glad the man's going. He can't go soon enough for me. My worry is he has 9 episodes to totally fuck things up even more. The Timeless Child to me is just a stupid plot device created by somebody who really thought that, oh, I'm going to be a super fan and I'm going to alter canon so it's all forever, ever known as Chris Chibnall and blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, there's the stupid uber political stuff. No, look, I like to get political, and I think you can be culturally relevant with regards to Doctor Who and have some interesting stuff. I will say that the Rosa Parks episode I thought was one of the best episodes ever of Doctor Who. Loved it. I thought it was fantastic. The entire cast did well. Tight story. Boom. Unfortunately, it became too much, too often, too preachy. And Doctor Who is a sci-fi fantasy show about a fucking alien, a benevolent alien that can regenerate and loves human beings and likes to take human beings on adventures and has a big blue box that's multi-dimensional. So yeah, Chris Chibnall, he's got 9 episodes to fuck it up, and he'll probably try and fuck it up. So yes, I'm glad he's gone. If you want more thoughts on that, you're going to have to follow the Lonely TARDIS on Twitter. And that's where my co-hosts, that Dally and Sean, will be tweeting out when we're doing our next show, which will be next week. We haven't done one for a long time because Doctor Who's been off air. So, yeah. Bye-bye, Chibbers. Don't forget, Chibnall wrote the worst episode of Torchwood ever in Cyberwoman. Yeah. Okay, move. All right. Let's see. Good God, I missed a whole bunch of comments while I went off on that Chibnall-related rant. So, and I lost 2 viewers, so that's lovely. People are playing ME3, not the Legendary Edition of the Pod. Oh, okay. RP Genius playing Miles Morales. I really want to play that game, but I'm not going to play it until I get a PS5. I just want to play it. I love that Spider-Man game. Let's see. Wise words from Fatterish. I mean, that's why I am not going to. I mean, I'm looking forward to Diablo. I was looking forward to Diablo 4. And I know it will affect people who I've worked with in the past who've gone to Activision Blizzard and working at Blizzard. I've got no interest in Call of Duty. I haven't in years, to be honest with you. And I think that it would be nice if, for example, the esports companies started dropping Call of Duty and League of Legends. Hit these people in the pocket. Make them be better. So yeah, that's why I will not have another. I will not renew my World of Warcraft. They can basically release World of Warcraft 2. Not interested. I'm not going to do anything with Diablo 4, which is, hurts me, but hurts them even more because they're not going to get my $60. Let's see. Okay, so good question. Let's go back to Doctor Who. Who replaces Chris Chibnall? Moffat wasn't that great either. Moffat had a couple of great things. Look, when you go back to Russell T Davies, who brought the whole show back, he was up and down. And I would say he was up and down. Moffat was up and down. Chibnall was up a little and then through the fucking floor. Moffat is somebody who could write a great one-off episode or a great 2 or 3 episodes per season, keep them tight. But when he had to try and create this whole overarching theme, he fell flat. Conversely, Russell T Davies wasn't great at writing individual episodes, but when it came to creating an overarching theme, he was pretty much on the money. So a combination of those two would be fantastic. See, I want to watch and see how the Sandman series and indeed Good Omens 2 goes with Neil Gaiman as the showrunner. That might be the guy. He's written one of the best episodes in The Doctor's Wife, which means he's got that Moffat tick, good tick. And the second episode, one he wrote, not quite as good, but still pretty damn good. And he will be running these 2 other shows. So if he were to come on board, I also think he's somebody who's very used to collaboration. And I think he will, as somebody who might just say, look, here's the overarch. I'm a proper novelist. I write proper books, graphic novels, sequels, fucking huge things. Here's the arch, the overarching arch. How do we fill it in? And this is where we get great writers to collaborate with to fill in, not Moffat getting buried and drowning, not Chibnall. Oh, everything has to be me. Everything has to be me because I'm a super fan. So yeah, Neil Gaiman. That's what I would like. And I think it's time to start a change.org petition to say, let's get Neil Gaiman to do Doctor Who. Let's see. I'm still going through. I haven't caught Schmigadoon yet. I only watched Ted Lasso last night. Schmigadoon and Physical are the 2 that I'm going to watch today. Started rewatching Stranger Things, actually, because Stranger Things 4, I've got a funny feeling is going to be around Halloween this year. So we got through 4 episodes a couple of days ago, and we're going to do another 4 this weekend. And that's season 1 done, and then we'll do seasons 2 and 3 next month and the month after. And hopefully then by the time 4 comes around, we'll be freshly caught up, because Stranger Things is such a great show. I actually did the Stranger Things experience last year. Anybody who lives in Southern California, I think actually it was dotted around the place, but there was one here in LA. And it's I think it's a company called Secret Cinema. And they basically take an IP, whether it's Star Wars or Scott Pilgrim or Blade Runner, and they've done launch events, like premiere events, where they've built up the bars. The Star Wars Cantina, I think, was down here for the longest time. And for Stranger Things, we had the tickets, and then COVID hit, that they were going to do this walkthrough experience set in the Starlight Mall, Starbright Mall. And obviously COVID hit, and they pivoted and turned it into a drive-through experience. And it was fucking cool. So cool. Wife took me. It was for our wedding anniversary, our 8th wedding anniversary last December. And actually, it was wedding anniversary was on a Saturday night, so it was literally what we did. And we went, and they had a radio channel app that you dialed in, and you heard people in character talking, and they were playing music. They were talking about military being seen, X, Y, and Z. And you pulled up, you got your picture took in the car, the prom, the homecoming prom photo thing, and they give you your candies and your sodas and your diet. So we got Diet Coke and Twizzlers, and then we drove through into this the structured parking lot, and there would be, they get all the cars into a level and stop everybody, and then a little play would happen, lighting effects, and the way it was worked, because you've been in these multi-story car parks, that you're all sitting there in one level, and whatever was happening on one side was happening on the other. So you had 2 sets of actors dressed identically, looking exactly like the characters from the show, and they were all acting at the same time. So you could either watch this one or you could watch that one, so you didn't miss anything. Or if you were like me, stuck in the fucking middle, you were like, oh, okay. But it was great. And then we drove to the top, and the top had been turned into this huge sort of like industrial complex. The mill, I think it is, that they have at the end of season 3 with the Gormagon. And it was just great. It's great. It was like 2 hours, I think we were there. And it flew by. Music was fantastic. All the cast were in 80s. 80s outfits, and all masked up as well. And yeah, if you ever get the chance to do the Stranger Things experience, if they bring it back for season 4, or they do bring it to wherever you live, anything by Secret Cinema, I thoroughly recommend it. It was so cool. So yeah. Sorry, I jumped off from the Schmigadoon. Let's see, back to the captions. Death Clonic. No, I didn't get a lawyer for the copyright stuff. It's not exactly something. It's one of those things that props up at the back of my mind, but I think it would just be messy. Game Trailers was sold to Defy. I think it wasn't Defy then sold their catalog to IGN, and I'm not technically part of their catalog. I only, Game Trailers didn't own Annoyed Gamer. So, yeah, I don't want to, but no. I actually have them. I actually have the hard drive with all the shows. I might just upload them myself onto my YouTube channel and then see if anybody from IGN comes along and tries to take them down. And then perhaps we'll talk about it. Although my stuff doesn't age very well. I mean, that's one of the downsides. I mean, you see these creators who are literally creating art and comedy, and it's timeless. And then you see my stuff, and you were like, "Oh, when did this air? Oh, this aired in 2013 on a Thursday in the middle of January. What was going on that day? Because it was so relevant to what was going on at the time." I think some of the things stand the test of time, like the depression stuff and so on. They were some of my favorite episodes, but yes, it was definitely very, very centric, to the time, centered to the time. Let's see. Yes. Back to Doctor Who for a second. Yeah, I will say that Day of the Doctor 50th anniversary was one of the most enjoyable episodes of Doctor Who I have ever seen. Ticked every box, especially the curator at the end. All right, let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Yes, I am British. Actually, I'm Welsh and then British, but yes, I am. What are you? How are you? Are you having a good day? I hope you are. Jacko Pop the Gaiter. Oof. I'm old. I can't read shit properly. Death Clonic's in the house. Well, earlier I want to tell you to talk to Len in French. Yes, I saw that. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Death Clonic. And again, I was saying hello because obviously you said that thing before. So, yes. D-Night Walker is no long shot. Michael Sheen was the new Doctor. Now, yes, I actually think that Michael Sheen would make a great Master. Michael Sheen, obviously, he voiced in The Doctor's Wife, he voiced the entity that took over the TARDIS, which was the Neil Gaiman episode. He obviously has the Neil Gaiman connection with regards to Good Omens. I think he could carry it off, but Michael's got this, especially if you've watched the show's just been cancelled on Fox, where he's the serial killer called the Surgeon, and his son Malcolm Bright. I'm just totally spazzing on the title. Somebody will say, yeah, he would make a great Master. He can do this joviality, this conviviality, tinged with a hint of like, push me, just go on, just push me, just say something, and I will snap and I will end you. I will just torture you in ways that you never thought possible. And he does that with just a glint. Just a glint. But yeah, I think he'd be a great master. I mean, obviously, we do need more Welsh representation in Doctor Who because it's fucking made in Wales and we haven't had much of it, with regards to the actual doctors or, the companions. I mean, obviously, Torture was slightly different because it was Cardiff and, we got Gwen Cooper. But I would love to see a Welsh Doctor. I would like to see Rhys Evans. Spike from Notting Hill. For the guy from Twin Town, if you ever watched that movie, I would love to see him as the Doctor, full-on Welsh Doctor. I think it'd be great. We've had the Scots, we've had the English, we've had the lady, but I mean that would be sticking another white man in the role. But a white Welshman, 3 million people, we are a minority. Look it up. So yes, him and Michael Sheen going, that would be cool. But yes, I will not hear a word against Michael Sheen. He's a wonderful man. Wonderful man. There you go. Prodigal Son. That was it. Thanks, RPG. Inti Equis, thank you very much. It's very nice of you to say so. Dave Bond is chipping in. Yep, it is. Yep, it is Prodigal Son, which is a great show. Gone too soon. I don't think we'll see that back again, unfortunately. The another one I'd actually see as a very interesting Doctor would be Tom Ellis, who plays Lucifer, which is coming to the end. Season 6 is about to start in 6 weeks, and that's going to come to an end. So season 6 is the last one, and then I'm sure he'd rather stay here in LA where he's happily settled and everything. But Tom Ellis, Welshman, and I think he might actually be a very interesting take on Doctor Who, because again, he could have the little dark side, which I would love to see more coming from the Doctor. And again, yes, I am casting white men. I'm sorry, it's just that's my area of expertise. Somebody said about Richard Ayoade. I can't pronounce his last name either. From the IT crowd, he is a great actor. He's very funny. Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen of him, he's really quite funny. I think he has a show on Amazon or Netflix, a travel show as well. I think he's really funny. Who'd make a really wacky Doctor Who? Taika Waititi, director of Thor, Ragnarok and Blood and Thunder, co-creator of What We Do in the Shadows, who was in Green Lantern. I think he's actually a Kiwi. He's a New Zealander, a Kiwi. So yes, I think he'd be a great Doctor. He's wacky as hell. I don't think he'd get the job because he's making more money making Disney movies right now. But I think he'd be fantastic. So yeah, keep them coming. Keep coming with your suggestions. Luis H. This dude is amazing. We need to see more. Well, thank you. I hope you're talking about me, but you're probably talking about some of the characters. I've just some of the actors I've just talked about. Let's see. Yes. Well, that's me, Marcus. Us. Don't forget the us. I am Marcus. But yes, thank you for joining. Thank you for jumping in. It's good to see. It's good that people are, catching up with me through Twitter or whatever, who haven't seen the show in a long time or haven't seen, I haven't even whether I am online. I am doing this because I've only been doing it for several months now. But yes, good to see you. Thank you. Matt Ryan, who is not going to be Constantine in, interestingly, he's not Constantine in the new HBO Max show that's being done by J.J. Abrams. Really off J.J. Abrams. But he's staying on Legends of Tomorrow, but they're phasing out the Constantine character because it's moving to HBO Max because J.J. Abrams is doing this version with lens flare, and where he's going to rewrite, just copy everybody else's stuff and then just pass it off as his own, because that's what J.J. Abrams does. And he's coming. Matt Ryan is coming back as a new character. So I assume he's a new character. I've not been watching Legends of Tomorrow, but Matt Ryan's fantastic. He'd make a great Doctor. Well, Luis H, thank you. Thank you for talking about me. Thanks for watching my stuff back in the day, and thank you for tuning in now. Hit me with a sub on the YouTube so that you know when I do this. Generally every week, 2:00 PST, but sometimes I'll do it early, sometimes I'll do a little extra, and so on and so forth. So yeah, good God, it's an hour and 13 minutes. I've been hour and 3 minutes rather. I've been going a fair while. I still haven't finished my coffee. Yes, but no, but yes, but no, but yes, but no, but yes, but no. Superman and Lois. So this is my problem. And this is what people without kids will tell you when it comes to entertainment. Nothing ruins entertainment like fucking kids. Not fucking kids. I mean, putting kids into entertainment. Superman and Lois could have been, and has been on a lot of levels, very, very interesting. But I would rather they have done it before the arrival of the twins, because let's face it, if anybody here has seen Mallrats, and his discussions about Superman and Lois. Kryptonite condom. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. How does he do it? Does he take her off the Fortress of Solitude? And I mean, it opens a can of fucking worms that you'd never see on the CW, because obviously it's family-friendly network. I'm sure DC would not go for any sort of exploration of that topic, especially after they killed the Harley Quinn story where Batman pleasured Catwoman with his mouth. DC killed that because apparently they don't want to see that, because apparently you can have Joker kill people, you can have Lex Luthor kill people, you can have a man like a giant shark biting heads off people, but God forbid Batman goes downtown on a lady. No, we can't have that. A guy in black leather can knock her down on a lady. But yes, that's look. I watched the first few episodes. I think the cast are great. I could have done without the teenage boys. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Superman, and look, this is a screen cap worthy moment. Superman is super control, and I'm not taking the piss out of you here, Jed. All right, I mean, this is actually, again, this is part of an interesting conversation. A super control over every muscle in his body. If he didn't, he'd destroy everything just by walking around. Thus, he can control his super penis. First of all, we don't know how super the penis is. I mean, he might be patterned down there. There might be a super tube sock in place, or a super cod piece. He may just be dealing with a super winky. But yes, there is the whole, not necessarily controlling the motion, but the ending. Faster than a speeding bullet is the phrase I've seen popped out a few times. No pun intended. Well, this show's taken a turn, hasn't it? But yes, I would love to have seen them, getting used to trying to date and have a relationship and deal with that in Metropolis before coming to Smallville further down the line with the kids, which is what they do. Did I see Zack Snyder's post about that? Oh, not Zack Snyder. I can't look. So Zack Snyder is the fart that won't dissipate. He's the fart in the DC room that won't dissipate. Zack Snyder is responsible for some of the fucking worst DC stuff ever. Zack Snyder's a shit filmmaker. I watched his zombie thing. Formulaic as fuck. And now he's got a prequel. But Zack Snyder apparently has to be asked for every opinion on every fucking thing DC, because Zack Snyder, they wouldn't let me put Green Lantern into my supercut of Justice League, so I had to put Martian Manhunter in at the end. And Zack Snyder's a fucking hack. Zack Snyder is the J.J. Abrams of the DCU. I can't stand Zack Snyder. I mean, as a person, he's gone through some terrible things with what happened to, the family tragedy. You have to put your heart out to them. But at the end of the day, professionally, he's done one good movie, the 300 movie with This is Sparta, and the abs that, basically ruined a generation of women into expecting men to work out these unattainable goals. You don't look like... what's his name? Gerard Butler with the abs and stuff. No, this is fatter. Yeah, that one was good. That one was good. The Watchmen one was pretty good, pretty faithful to the book. And then he went off the fucking reservation. So yeah, can't stand him. Don't want to have anything to do with him. Don't want to see his shit anymore. You ruined Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, the ultimate fucking crossover. I mean, he had the Dark Knight Returns as the fucking playbook, which he ripped off unashamedly and still managed to fuck it up. Martha! He had a great Batman in Batfleck. And I will say this, Ben Affleck was a fucking good Batman. He could have done a standalone movie and been really fucking good. Henry Cavill as Superman. Great Superman. Got the accent, carries off the Boy Scout thing. Wonder Woman Gal Gadot, she's great with what she's got to work with. It's not her fault the second film that she did was shitty. Or maybe it is. Who knows? But yeah. So don't Zack Snyder me. Don't ruin my day with Zack Snyder. Honestly, I'd rather talk about that than Zack Snyder. Yes, and I enjoyed, like I said, I enjoyed Watchmen. Just going to put this up sight unseen. Had Jonathan Kent tell you, let kids die to protect himself. Yeah. Yeah. Zack Snyder, Hack Snyder. There you go. Sure, piffle, fuck off. And again, I mean, you're coming from Chris Nolan on the Batman verse, where he was grounded and they were, they didn't want to do the whole Superman stuff and blah, blah, blah. But it would have been great to see that Batman-esque world then having to deal with the arrival of the Kryptonian, which they kind of do at the beginning of Batman v Superman, which touches into some of the DCU animated stuff, with the distrust, etc., etc. But it's just done so badly. It's done so badly. And then we get into Darkseid and we get into the whole, look, Josh Whedon ruined Justice League. No, he fucking didn't. What he did was maybe redo 20% of the fucking movie. And then Warner Brothers chopped the rest up. The shit that Zack Snyder done is all Zack Snyder's shit, and he is shit. Let's just get this out there. Zack Snyder is shit. He's got all this source material to work with. And what does he do? He parts his cheeks after several curries and goes... The only reason I'm saying curries is that they go straight through me. So that's what I'm giving the example for. I love a good curry, but they don't love me. But then he just, he shit on stuff. And now he's the point of contact for everything DC related. Fuck off. You want to ask somebody who has a clue about DC? Talk to James Gunn. Great filmmaker. Talented filmmaker. Looking forward to Suicide Squad in 2 weeks. I'm so looking forward to that. Thank you, HBO Max. I love James Gunn. Gremlin 117. Army of the Dead was garbaggio. I'm not going to disagree. There's a prequel coming now because apparently Netflix is like, we've got all this goodwill. We've done the Queen's Gambit, which is fantastic. We did Stranger Things, which everybody loved. We have signed a deal with Adam Sandler for 30,000 fucking movies and Zack Snyder. I mean, talk about one step forward, half a fucking mile back. It's like we create all this amazing stuff. It gets nominated for Emmys and Oscars. And now we're going to do movies with Rob fucking Schneider and Adam Sandler. And Adam Sandler can be really good. Uncut Gems, he's pretty amazing. But then you've got that Hubie Halloween one. And no, thank you. And Zach, stop giving Netflix, stop giving my subscription money to shitty fucking directors. If you want to give money to shitty people with no talent whatsoever, just give it to me. Put my show on Netflix and give me the fucking money. Production values, very inexpensive. Viewership through the fucking floor. But I still guarantee I'd be way better than fucking Zack Snyder or fucking Rob Schneider. Anyway. What? I'm responsible for the rumor that for the rumor not actually canceling the George Miller Justice League that was going to be a mocap CGI movie. Yes, with regards to being responsible for canceling things, you don't want to be that person because apparently that stuff haunts you till the end of time. Yes, this Justice League Dark is the better side of DC for me. And I will say this with regards to most of the DC animated stuff has been superb. I will say I like this. I like the beginning of Titans. I haven't watched it all the way through. Like I said, it's one of those ones I really need to get back into, but I haven't. Yeah, I mean, that's the good thing. Justice League Dark is a great animated movie. Yes, he did. Death Clonic, Adam Sandler, He figured out that if he wants to make movies in Hawaii or in Africa or in Barbados, all he needs to do is convince Jennifer Aniston or Drew Barrymore to be his co-lead in a romantic comedy, and boom, that's it. That's his budget. That's his vacation, all paid for. Wow, apparently Jed is just a naughty little minky. Wow. Good God. You are a naughty, naughty person. Anyway, good grief. This show is when I'm sort of like getting into the flow, prepping ready to come and come and talk, and I'm like, oh, so I'm going to talk about this, I'm going to talk about that. And that's about it. I maybe have 2 topics lined up, especially on the quiet times. I never know where it'll go. And this is why I like doing these videos as opposed to pre-recorded ones, because of the comments. Because of the comments and interacting with everybody. It just makes it so much more fun. Yes, it makes it fucking crazy. Nobody knows what's going to happen during a show. Half of it, half of the stuff I plan on talking about never makes it. But this is the great fun stuff. Speaking of hacks, any thoughts on the He-Man Kevin Smith debacle? Okay, I watched the first episode of the He-Man Kevin Smith, He-Man Masters of the Universe, Revelation, Retribution, Reconstitution, whatever the hell it was. And I will say, I am not a Masters of the Universe fan. I saw on occasion the 80s animated series, but I was a teenager then. Which obviously marks me as much older than a lot of you. So I'm not sure I understand. Neither do I. Siri. Wow. What an annoying so-and-so. So yes, I didn't watch it that much. I saw it occasionally. I knew there was a guy named Adam who had a page boy haircut and then turned into He-Man with the muscles, and he rode a big cat, and then he had a man at arms and a girl at arms and lots of arms, and the toys, etc., etc. I will say, get me drunk enough, and I will watch the Canon Films Masters of the Universe movie with Dolph Lundgren, with young Courtney Cox in it, Frank Langella as Skeletor. Because if you're drunk enough or stoned enough, that movie's fucking hysterical. So yes, I'm not invested in the Masters of the Universe milieu as much as many people. I know that there was a She-Ra that came out a couple of years ago that people didn't like because apparently she didn't have huge boobs or something. I don't know. And then I've seen people saying that this week that people have been complaining that Prince Adam / He-Man is not actually the focus, the center of attention in the series. Well, I think it's called Masters of the Universe, isn't it? Not He-Man? Wasn't the first one He-Man and Masters of the Universe? Again, not really that up on the milieu. It kind of went over my head. So I saw people, ragging on Kevin Smith, and Kevin Smith just told them to fuck off. Now, I got a lot of time for Kevin Smith. Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Clerks 2, even Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which is not aging very well at all, actually. I'm not talking about the reboot. Pretty awful. But some amazing stuff that I really, really dug. I actually have a signed copy of Dogma here somewhere. Plus, he also had a heart attack and had the same problems as me not long after me, in fact. And our birthdays were a couple of days apart. It's just he's incredibly rich and slim now, and I'm me. So yeah, I don't have a dog in the fight. I will say, I guarantee you, the people who are pissed off about this, actually, you know what? No, I don't have a dog in this fight. So that was a long-winded way of saying I'm aware of it. I'm not going to comment on it because I don't really know enough. If it was something that, like I said, Doctor Who and Chris Chibnall, happy to comment about it. If it's Zack Snyder and DC, I know enough about that. I am not going to marginalize either side, but I will say if people are pissed off that, whether it's not enough, Teela's not going to, enough G-string outfits or whatever, those people can fuck off. You're never going to keep people happy when it comes to nostalgia. we've seen that with Star Wars and J.J. Abrams. And I'm just catching up. So the thing, D-Nat Walker says, the thing that made me mad is the new He-Man show was the bait and switch with its marketing. I'm guessing it's because, again, Prince Adam wasn't actually front and center. So I don't know how that's going to go. And I just, honestly, I'm not going to pick on either side. I've got a lot of time for Kevin Smith. He writes some great stuff. He does appear to be, able to or want to appear at the opening of an envelope because he can be everywhere. And I wish he'd dress a little nicer, but I think he's an incredibly talented person. So Snoochie Boochies and Snoogans. So I hope it gets better for you. I hope the show gets better, more enjoyable. Because I like people to enjoy their stuff. It's just when people have asinine reasons for not liking stuff. That's what gets my goat. Critical Role. I'm not aware of it. It's a D&D Twitch stream that broke Kickstarter records to fund an animated special. It's become a show. Good for them. I've never really played D&D. Never really got into it. We actually have a couple of D&D stores, Games Workshop stores. Actually, one of them is a Warhammer store, in fact, here in the locality. And I've never gone in. I've never been into it. I like my role-playing games on the TV, on the screen, on the big screen, whether it's console, whether it's on my PC. Back in the day, it was the Starship Traveler, Steve Jackson, Warlock of Firetop Mountain, Choose Your Own Adventure books. Love those. Those were really cool. Predated computer games back then. But yeah, anybody who can take what they love, monetize it to a degree where they become successful, and that success and the joy that they bring people is propelled even further so they can go to a bigger audience. Great. I love that. The exception of K-pop. I kid. Big fan of Korean barbecue, and it's always fun to listen to K-pop when I'm having Korean barbecue. Rest of the time, I'm not a BTS boy. What can I say? Yeah. There you go. I think that's it. I've been going for an hour and 22 minutes. This is incredible. It's not a record. I mean, obviously, I've talked and blown smoke for way longer, but there you go. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to ask for $750,000 on Kickstarter. I'm going to take the 11 million. I've got nothing to create. I've got nothing to put into the world. I mean, that's the thing. I should maybe get a group together, like a bunch of people, and we should turn it into something. I don't know. I just don't have the skill set or the wherewithal. I should change this show to bare minimum because that's what we're doing. That's what I do. It's fucking bare minimum. Anyway, we're going to wind this up. I am going to say, as usual, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. You can follow me on the Twitter @AnnoyedGamer. If you're watching on the Twitch, toss me a follow, but not a sub. Don't sub me. There's no asking for bits. There's no asking for subs. If you do want to give me a subscription and a like on the YouTube, that costs you nothing. That's good. Great. And then if you do feel that you are moderately entertained by what I do on a weekly basis and want to throw a few bucks, patreon.com/IamBeer. Couple of different tiers, but the one that's the most fun is the base tier, which is $3 a month. And for that, you get access to the Discord, and we chat, and we do stuff. Not often, but we just have nice chats. And yeah, that's the bare minimum, and that's cool. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a lovely weekend. Stay safe, stay vaccinated, stay masked, stay away from the great, dirty, unwashed, unvaccinated people. Enjoy your games, enjoy your entertainment. Let us not be dicks to each other. Let me be a dick to those who deserve it. Same time next week-ish, maybe a little earlier. Who knows? Be good.